India is repeatedly telling all the nations, from US to UK to Russia, that this was measured, responsible, and designed to be a non-escalatory nature attack. This Operation Sindoor, which has been carried out by India, has been focused and precise. No Pakistani civilian, economic or military bases targeted. This is an important point. Only known terror camps were targeted, is what we can tell our viewers. And Shiv is joining us.
Absolutely. And, Shiv, as we were talking about earlier, now sources confirming to PTI, Press Trust of India, like we were, and I'm sure, everybody in India was also hoping the headquarters of Jaish-e-Mohammed in Bahawalpur and Lashkar-e-Taiba headquarters in Muridke, both in Pakistan's Punjab, have been hit by these strikes. It was a targeted strikes on the terror headquarters of Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba in Muridke and Bahawalpur. Shiv.
Doesn't get bigger than this when you want to hit a terror target. This is basically hitting the absolute headquarters, where the CEOs of terror really sit in Pakistan.
Okay, there is another
Ankit
piece
and
of
Maria.
breaking news.
We
can now tell our viewers. Shiv, just hold on to your thoughts. This is coming from the Prime Minister's office, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi was constantly monitoring this entire operation through the night. Operation Sindoor being monitored by Prime Minister Modi himself through the night is what we can tell our viewers. Go ahead, Shiv, give us the details of these locations that we are talking about.
Interesting piece of breaking news there from you, Maria. The Prime Minister monitoring the situation, not surprising whatsoever given the sensitivity of Operation Sindoor, and the layers are coming off of, how big this operation really was. Information that we've just reported here on NDTV, of course, is that this was a tri-service operation initially announced by the army, revealed to have involved the Air Force firing those missiles at those targets, and now we're breaking that the Indian Navy also fired loitering munitions. So a truly large-scale tri-service coordinated military strike on those targets in POK as well as Pakistan. Now, Bahawalpur and Muridke, like I said, if you needed to choose terror targets, these are the Rolls-Royce of terror targets, if I could use that phrase, because the seminaries from which all administration, governance and execution of the terror machinery and infrastructure, which is extensive in Pakistan and POK, flows from these two cities, Maria and Ankit. Bahawalpur of the Jaish-e-Mohammed and Muridke for the Jamaat-ud-Dawa, which is basically just a front for the Lashkar-e-Taiba. Both these places have enormous seminaries, frequently visited by people like Maulana Masood Azhar and Hafiz Mohammad Saeed, though it must be said that both these high-value terrorists, it is unlikely would have been in these two cities given the heightened tensions post-Pahalgam. Pakistan would have known that these cities would have been, possible targets for Indian retaliatory strikes, and therefore would have moved their high-value targets like HMS and Maulana Masood Azhar to the safety of other places like Lahore or Rawalpindi or wherever. But we can confirm that the headquarters themselves have actually been hit, which is huge, This is not just symbolic, and I want to repeat this over and over again. This isn't a cosmetic hit on terrorist infrastructure. This actually harms, impacts and affects how Pakistan will conduct terrorism. It remains an open debate over deterrence. That debate will come a little later. But for now, we can confirm that the very nerve centers of Pakistani terror have been struck by Indian missiles.
A deep psychological impact as well on Pakistan and for the terrorists, in fact, as Shiv was calling them, the CEOs of terror, not only for India, but emanating from these seminaries from across the globe. Maria, just coming back to what you just put out, on the Prime Minister. We've seen how there have been a series of meetings while the country and the governance was going on as usual. There was massive planning which was going on behind the curtains, which has, in fact, seen fruition at this moment with these terror strikes. And the Prime Minister, like the earlier surgical strikes of India, involved right from the go till the operation is executed.
Yes, and if you remember what the Prime Minister said for the first time when he held that public rally in Bihar, he said India will identify, trace and punish every terrorist and their backers. I think those words were chosen by the Prime Minister and said with immense confidence, and he had gone on to say we'll pursue them to the ends of the earth and India's spirit will never be broken. Remember, the Prime Minister had been holding series of meetings. He held a meeting with the NSA, with all with the Chief of Defence Staff. There was a restructuring which happened of the defence forces as well. The messaging was loud and clear that the Prime Minister himself was personally involved. What we can tell our viewers, and this is coming from top government sources, that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been monitoring Operation Sindoor through the night, and he has been monitoring each and every aspect of it. 24 hours ago, he held a meeting with the Defence Secretary. Before that, there was a meeting with Air Force Chief AP Singh. Before that, there was a series of meetings. The Cabinet Committee on Security Affairs met 3 times. In fact, twice in the last 12 to 14 days. The messaging was that the Prime Minister means business. That when he says that when it is about terrorism will not go unpunished, he actually meant it. That everyone who believes in humanity is what with us was the message that came in from the Prime Minister. And it was not without a reason, Sunil, that the Prime Minister, while addressing that rally in Kishanganj, thereafter when he spoke during his Mann Ki Baat address as well, he had said very clearly that what is being expected by the Indians, it was a reflection of the sentiments of Indians, that 140 crore Indians was being spoken by the Prime Minister himself, that the entire nation has one resolve. Everyone who believes in humanity is standing with India, and that is the reason why he made that transition from Hindi to English and addressed the world as well, that all those countries who are standing with India must be aware that we will be avenging this, that India will not leave it unpunished. Sunil Prabhu.
That's right. As you rightly point out, at this stage, India is, very categorically being extremely restrained in their response. There were 9 specific targets. All were successful. Basically, targeting what they say, very critical and important terrorist infrastructures, both within Pakistan as well as in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. These strikes did not require India to cross its borders, something that we learned and we really missed at that time in 2019, the Bahawalpur strike, where our Air Force squadrons had to cross the POK and strike at that stage. This time round with the Rafale, and I remember the then Defense Minister telling us if we had the Rafales at that time, the squadrons had just come in, we could be able to strike from a distance. And it's in this context that the Rafales were used without crossing and getting into the Pakistan airspace. And those 9 specific targets, it's been a coordinated tri-services response. The reason for why they have done it in this manner is one, to ensure not only that all services are united, to show that the theatre command is working, that in India and its armed forces can strike and will avenge anybody who has affected the 26 lives who lost innocent lives, who were enjoying their holiday, and this mindless killing cannot go untouched. And as you rightly pointed out, the Prime Minister, the Defense Minister, the entire Indian political spectrum too, have all spoken in one voice that full justice needs to be given and ensured for those who were responsible for those horrific killings. And this is the way India has responded.
Sunil, stay on with us, as our colleagues are gathering, because remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a dynamic situation. It's not yet over. India has conducted the strike, but there is also tension along the LOC. There is, in fact, the LOC at this moment has completely been lit up. Pakistan trying to, in fact, escalate matters on the kinetic, escalation ladder, though India so far has been restrained. As our colleagues are, in fact, collecting some more information, let's also bring in Lieutenant General S.N. Narasimhan, security analyst analyst who's joining us at this moment. Sir, very good morning. A lot of people in the country would be waking up to this news of how India has hit back as far as Pakistan's terror infrastructure is concerned. How big is this and how different is this from the other 2 surgical strikes that India undertook? Because at this moment, sir, we can confirm that it's just not POK, but right in the heart of Pakistan, in the Punjab province, Bahawalpur, Muridke, both these cities have been hit.
Thank you very much for getting me on your show very early in the morning. I'm sure you all had a long night and it will continue further. The activities have just started. Let us face the fact. The 9 targets have been attacked, which is fine. And the Pakistanis also have acknowledged that. That is also fine. But in addition to that, they have also said they will retaliate. So we will have to wait for their retaliation to come in. And that is one of the reasons why probably the civil defense mock-up exercises were supposed to be done tomorrow. And also the NOTAM was issued for an Air Force exercise that is going on in Rajasthan sector. So the thing is that we have targeted only the terrorist camps and terrorist establishments, not targeted any of the Pakistani armed forces establishments, nor the civilian targets. So it is basically a retaliation for what happened in Pahalgam and who perpetrated that incident in Pahalgam. So this is the initial attack that has come in. I am sure we can expect some kind of retaliation from Pakistan, as the Pakistan Prime Minister has mentioned, and he is also having a meeting at about 10:30 in the morning. And thereafter, I think I'm sure we will get to see their reactions coming up, and then we will have to be prepared for it.
Yes, sir, my question is, when we look at these 9 targets, it's a targeted attack with immense precision, is what India is saying. There is no civilian base which has been targeted. There is no military base which has been targeted. There is no economic installation in Pakistan which has been targeted. These are known terror bases. India is clear that this was an attack against terrorists who perpetrated that attack in India, on Indian soil.
And that is very true. I mean, the reaction of India was exactly what it should be, targeting exactly those perpetrators who did the activities in Pahalgam and who has been actually sending out terrorists from their camps in Pakistan. There's no doubt about that. So this is a targeted kind of an attack. But what would happen is these missiles have fallen on Pakistani territory, even though the terrorists are the ones who have been targeted. And therefore, it's better for us to be prepared for any eventuality. That is what I was trying to say. But from our side, we have extremely been focused. We have only targeted the terrorist camps and terrorist targets and nothing else. So from that point of view, we have just avenged what happened in Pahalgam, and the word Operation Sindoor is a very direct indication of that particular issue that we took on. So it is a payback for the action that has been done in Pahalgam. And now we'll have to be very careful, and we have to wait for anything that could happen in future.
Okay, let me bring in Shiv again. Shiv, south of Akhnur, Bahawalpur is 150 kilometers west of the IB. You have Muzaffarabad, Kohli, again Gulpur and Bimber,
Totally.
all about 25 kilometers across the LOC. Significance of these places, Shiv, while we show that to our viewers, the precision with which this attack has been carried out, it's payback time. It's payback time, and that's what we are highlighting to our viewers.
You know, I just want to start off, Maria and Ankit, by saying that it's really a pleasure and a privilege to have General Narasimhan on our coverage so early this morning, and we thank him on behalf of NDTV for it. He is one of the finest voices on issues of this kind, sober and full of illuminating information. So welcome, General Narasimhan, to our coverage, and thanks for being with us. Those terror targets that you've just mentioned, Maria, very, very crucial. The distance information that you've put out arithmetically, also crucial, to our analysis of where things are unfolding right now. Remember, there are two aspects of what we're reporting right now, Maria and Ankit. One of them is, of course, the fact that 9 separate towns or cities and sites have been targeted by Indian missiles from the Indian Army, Air Force, as well as the Navy. Point number 2 is the escalation and the response that's taking place right now. Without going into operational details, the line of control has been lit up in the Jammu sector, heavy artillery being used. There are fighter aircraft in the air on both sides right now. Total fog of war, claims and counterclaims of jets being shot down on both sides. We don't have a confirmation on any of that at this point of time. We will report only when authentic information comes out. But we can confirm safely at this point of time that the standoff precision strikes by the Indian Air Force were conducted from different sectors. It may be tempting to think that, that these strikes were conducted from only the northern sector, which is, the Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir airspace, but I can confirm that those missiles have been fired from different sectors, including over Rajasthan. Remember, there is an Air Force exercise and a drill and a no-fly zone or a NOTAM that was issued, Maria and Ankit, just yesterday for an air power demonstration today. That may have very much been to do with the kind of operations that we're seeing play out tonight. But the terror targets, all of them, ranging from a few kilometers into POK to deep inside Pakistan, including Bahawalpur, which is south of Multan, big city in Pakistani Punjab, just like Muridke, both the terror headquarters of the Lashkar-e-Taiba / Jamaat-ud-Dawa and the Jaish-e-Mohammad. So these targets would not have been easy to choose, considering that India has never struck these targets before. One more piece of information to close this particular thought, Maria and Ankit, is that 2 of the targets struck today, namely Kotli and Bahawalpur, were actually target options during the 2019 Balakot bombings as well. For various reasons which we may not be able to get into at this point of time, India chose the Balakot targets instead of Bahawalpur and Kotli, because at that time it was believed that would be a major escalation. This time, India has gone ahead and hit them.
Right, and General Nasimar, let me bring you in, sir, at this moment, because we are seeing all kind of threats and some sort of false bravado being thrown by Pakistan. Of course, nobody, and at least here, not on NDTV, we are not a war-mongering channel. Nobody wants war. It's a very difficult, dirty business. But at this moment, what would be our security preparedness? Because it will be heightened sense of alert, not just across the border, but across the country as well, sir.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. That is one of the reasons why, if you see in the last few days, the Prime Minister has been personally meeting the chiefs one by one and ensuring that all the 3 services are on alert all the time. And in addition to that, you will find, because of that civil defense mock-up drills that we are supposed to be planning tomorrow, even the civil administration would be prepared for every eventuality. So this is a step-by-step process in which the preparations have been done, and I think it is a very well coordinated kind of an action that has been done. And if you look at the distances and the places that you mentioned in your Maria mentioned, you find that exactly the places where the terrorist camps and the terrorist establishments are located, notwithstanding whether it is in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir or in Pakistan territory,